Hello, hello. This is your DJ, radio host Mo. Back for another episode of California Sober, baby. Bonjour, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We are back. We are here with another episode, segment, Cannabis and Combat Sports, aka Muay Thai and Marijuana, aka Muay Thai and aka Marijuana and MMA, aka Get High and Muay Thai. Honestly, I like the Get High and Muay Thai one, man. I think I'm gonna run that one, even though it's gonna be, talking about mixed martial arts and stuff. I really like the Get High and Muay Thai. Combat sports, cannabis and combat sports seems kind of professional, though. I kind of like that one too. You guys let me know in the comments what I should run with. I'm kind of leaning towards the Get High and Muay Thai, though. It's a little playful, right? What do we do here at Get High and Muay Thai? Well, I pretty much just get high and talk about fighting, baby. And you guys get to come along for the ride. So put your seatbelts on and let's go full speed. Interesting night tonight. We had a UFC. It was a fight night in Paris. This is the fourth UFC that they've had in Paris. It just seems like the UFC. I'm happy that the UFC is entering the European market. Starting to see some interesting talent come out of Europe. The only two fighters I can think of from France off the top of my head that we got is Imavov and St. Denis, both of which were on the main card. I think there was 5 total fighters that were fighting out of Paris or out of France, and I think all 5 of them got the dub. Don't remember the other guys. Probably people on the undercard. But let's check this out. Let's run through these fights. I'll try to be as fast as possible. I always try to get this done in 30 minutes. I got to remember, and it's hard because when I get high, I want to ramble. I'm going to keep it straight to the point. Yeah, so let's go. So UFC Paris, our main event, we had Imavov versus Borralho, UFC Fight Night 258. Also on the main card, so we had Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho, Benoît St. Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. Who else do we got? We had a bout that was canceled. Oh, let me talk about this. Sorry, I got my notes in two different. I got to jump back and forth. I wrote my notes on 2 different pages. I do apologize about that. I should have. This is why I need my computer. This is why I need my computer. I can just have it all up on here. Maybe I gotta do a setup where maybe I gotta start doing this on my computer desk, so I can just have my computer up here with all my notes. I like the couch. It's fun. It's relaxing. This is where I do the podcast. I don't know. Maybe we do a separation between the podcast and these cannabis and combat sports. Yes, I did use a different name. But notable fight that got canceled, man. We had this fight, Patricio Pitbull versus Losan Kieta. Didn't know much about Kieta, I'll be honest with you. I looked into him after this bout was scheduled. I liked what I saw. A heavy striker, at least from his highlights. A lot of good hands. Goes to the body a lot. Got a lot of body TKOs. Powerful hands. I was excited to see him coming into the UFC. I thought this would have been a great fight for him with Pitbull. Let's start from the top. Kieta's MMA record, he is 16-1. Pitbull, he is 37-8. 10 of Kieta's wins come via KO. Pitbull, he has 13 KO, 11 subs. Clearly, Pitbull, he's a more experienced fighter. He's got more dubs under his belt. More. He can win in different avenues, right? He's got 11 subs, 13 KOs. He's just a more diverse MMA fighter. I still thought this would be a good fight. Kieta's a lot younger. He likes to press the pace, likes to be aggressive. Versus Pitbull, he's kind of more calm. He kind of has more of a Peter Yan type style where he kind of just marches forward, gets you against the cage, and that's when he starts doing his best work. You know what I mean? A lot of hooks and bodies and all that crap. Anyways, fight got canceled. Kieta, he missed weight by 3 pounds. He did fill in on short notice. Kind of sucks because it's like, this is your debut fight. You get accepted to go to the big leagues, and then it's basically like missing the first day of work. Rumor has it he got cut. I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but I've heard from multiple sources that he got cut, so I'm gonna slide with that. But I hope they give him another opportunity. It kind of just sucks. I think that he was going down a weight class too. I think he normally fights one weight class up. This was a featherweight bout, so unfortunate. But yeah. Oh, I do want to going back to in Kieta real quick. Sorry, I'm probably gonna have to cut this and move it, but he actually made a commercial for getting accepted into the UFC. It's a funny little commercial. It's like him training, and then one of his training partner comes up to him. They're like, yeah, so when you're getting into the UFC, and then it cuts to him, like, I think talking to his coach, and then his coach asks him the same question. There's a point where he's driving home, and a police officer stops him, and then asks him, hey, when are you getting into the UFC? Really funny, funny commercial, and what makes it even funnier was that he couldn't even make his debut. Sorry, I just remembered that. The irony, LOL, is so funny. ROFL. I think it's sad though. But anyways, it should have probably spent a little bit more time cutting away, buddy. So first fight I want to talk about is I'm gonna skip the Brad Tavares. I did want to talk about Brad Tavares, but I don't really got a lot of time, so I'm gonna try to run through this. First fight that I want to talk about is we had a lightweight bout between Harry Hardwick versus Caio Fernandez. Let me jump back to my other note. Wait, on the other note, I think I wrote some stuff on this other page. Okay, so yeah, we had Harry Hardwick versus Caio Fernandez. Harry Hardwick, he's coming in with the MMA record of 13-4-1. Fernandez, he's got a record of 11-2-1. Very close record. Same thing with Harry. Didn't know much about Harry until this fight was announced. I looked into him a little bit. Apparently him and his brother, that there are two fighters coming out of the UK. They're pretty well known out there. Harry Hardwick, he was the champion for Cage Warrior. He had a 9-win streak. So he basically got in, fought for the title, got it, I believe. 9-fight win streak, and then he got the opportunity to come into the UFC. I think it was the same situation here with Fernandez. I think he was a fill-in. They called him a few days before. Anyways, back to Harry. Harry, Cage Warrior champion, a lot of people were talking about this fight, not me because I didn't know much about this guy, but he had some hype behind him. Yeah, all I really knew was that he was a Cage Warrior champion. He was a 9-fight win streak. He had a brother. I think his brother's name's Gary Hardwick, a well-known fighter. Didn't get to see much of Harry. Basically got taken out in the first round. With Harry, it just seemed like Fernandez, he literally threw a low kick within the first couple seconds. It connected, and it's just one of those things, you throw a strike, it lands clean. There was no resistance towards it, and you're just like, I'm gonna keep going for it. And he just got it in his head, as I'm gonna keep landing those low kicks, and he did. He kept landing those low kicks. Halfway through the first round, Harry couldn't even put weight on his front leg. It was so red. I remember at one point he's throwing a jab from the southpaw position, and he's just he's standing very tall, very straight up, and it's just because he can't hunch over, he can't lean over and push his weight into that jab. He's trying to keep as much weight off that back leg. It's probably at this point not working right. It's probably kind of numb, tingly, not wanting to move as well. The blood's not running good. So he got, man. Honestly, he got with the low kicks. Before he gets dropped twice with the low kick. One point, he kind of comes forward and he falls, rolls over, gets back to his feet. The second time he gets kicked in the leg, he does not get. The second time he gets dropped off a low kick, was not able to get up. He hits the ground, and the ref just stepped in, honestly, and I think it was a good stoppage. I think the ref recognized that he couldn't really defend himself properly, and there you go, man. Fernandez gets a low kick KO. Woo! We love them low kick KOs, baby. Listening to the commentators, they said that Fernandez got some good low kicks. Don't know much about this fighter either. I'm sorry, guys. There's just so much going on. It's hard to pay attention to this. Pay attention to Muay Thai. It's a lot. It's a lot. Sorry, I'm the worst at this, but I'm trying, you guys. I'm just trying. I'm just a man, and I'm trying. Anyways, so Harry, his UFC debut, he gets taken out first round. Doesn't look too good for the Hardwick brothers, but we'll see. Hopefully they give him another chance. Maybe give him a little bit more time to prepare. At least he made weight, so it's you got to keep it pushing, baby. And then next fight that I want to talk about, we had a light heavyweight bout. Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Bukauskas, he's got a 19-6 record, 11 by KO. Paul Craig, 17-10-1, 13 by sub. Classic story. Striker versus grappler. We like the striker, but we like Paul Craig because he's American, baby, and we support America. Even if he's a grappler, we freaking support him. I got nothing against grappling, guys. I'm sorry. I got nothing against grappling. I like it. I respect it as a sport. I learned a little bit of it, and I want to continue learning it. However, something about the striking, my guy. I just like it. I love it. Let's keep it going. But anyways, try to keep this short. Try to keep this under 30 minutes. Let me speed run through this. Bukauskas. Honestly, bro, He looked good, bro. He was able to get Paul Craig out in the first round. Paul Craig didn't look. He just when he came in, dude. And this is the thing, dude. He came in and he was in like the bladed stance. You know what I mean? And Bukauskas just kind of took advantage of that and was kind of like, so like Paul Craig came in very karate, like bladed stance, you know, completely sideways, front hand to his chest instead of to his face, you know, and he paid for that. He fought against another guy who was an experienced striker, and he was able to capitalize on the weaknesses of the style, you know. That's the thing, is when you fight an experienced striker, if you're like experienced strikers, they can recognize they know, they've seen all the different, they've seen so many things, right, throughout their career, that when you go to a bladed stance, they understand like this is the weakness of a bladed stance. If you go into your squared stance, they understand this is the weakness of a squared stance. So it's like you can pull up the hat of the base of the, if you don't have enough, if you have enough of the fundamentals, it's like there's some tricks you can pull from the hat. I forgot. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. I haven't smoked weed. I'm sorry. But if you have a lot of experience, right, you're used to seeing these things, and he was able to expose like some of the bad habits of the bladed stance, right? He was, kicking him in the leg, he was able to punch over his hand and get him in the face. And, he ultimately kept Paul Craig on his back foot. Paul Craig can really utilize his grappling. But at the end of the first round, Paul Craig, he tried to pull guard. You know what they say about pulling guard in MMA, guys? It's really, sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. Let's not do it. Paul Craig pulls guard, doesn't get anything. Bukauskas, he lands on top, starts landing some ground and pound. At the end of it, like right at the last second of the bell, he throws a hard elbow. Boom. Paul Craig out. It was a quick knockout, got him out, and then he came to real quick, but that was it. That was enough for the ref to call it. And here in the UFC, we don't have saved by the bell. If you get knocked out right at the bell, they count it. So I think it was a good stoppage. Paul Craig, I think he announced his retirement after. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. That boy, I ain't said shit. And next fight, St. Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. Man, this was a fight that I wanted to see. St. Denis, I really like his style. I talked on the grapplers, but look, I'm telling you, I don't really hate the grappling sports. I hate the grapplers that are lazy. I hate the grapplers that are boring, but the grapplers that go for finishes, whether it's striking or through ground and pound or through submissions, I like those guys. St. Denis, he is that guy, man. He is he. And I like the way he sets up his takedowns. He'll do like head kicks and then he'll shoot for a takedown. You know what I mean? 1, 2, body kick, shoot for a takedown. I like it. His striking isn't bad, it's not bad, but definitely his bread and butter is his grappling and his ability to mix the grappling. He just, does great, right? So fighting Mauricio Ruffy fighting nerds. He just came off of a win. It was a spinning hook kick. I can't remember who it landed on. I could probably Google it. Let's see. Ruffy hook kick knockout. Let me see. Oh, was it? Oh, it was Bobby Green. Was that the last one? Was that his actual last fight? Where's that? Let me see, boys. I'll probably add it in the link. Remind myself. Clip of Ruffy spinning hook kicks. Yeah, I added that stuff in post. Yeah, so we got Bobby Green with the hook kick. Experienced striker, right? So St. Denis, he's coming in. He's got a 15-3-0 record, 11 by sub, 7 by first round finishes. Ruffy, he's coming in with a 12-2-0, 11 by KO, 8 first round finishes. Very close record in different approaches. Similar, same, but different. All right, we got another grappler versus freaking striker, baby. Only difference is St. Denis, he is not to play with. He is a different type of grappler. He is not a Paul Craig. No offense, Paul Craig, dog. Our respect given to you, Big G. Anyways, interesting fight. This fight went to the 4th round, I think, or the 5th round, I believe. Second round. Was it really only the second round? Oh, wow, it only went to the second round. That's crazy. Yeah, so I don't even think it was a 5-rounder anyways. Why did I say 5 rounds? But yeah, I got to the second round. Interesting fight. I enjoyed watching it. It really looked like St. Denis. He just was more comfortable. Ruffy just was not able to establish his presence, not able to establish his dominance. St. Denis, man, he has that style where he just charges forward, bro. He just mauls you, charges forward with strikes, and then he'll try to take you down as soon as you have your hands up. My hat's off to Ruffy. It looked like he trained a lot of his grappling defense. There's a lot of times where St. Denis had double underhooks and Ruffy was able to fight it off or fight getting taken down. But I mean, eventually he would get taken down. And honestly, St. Denis, dude, I'm telling you, he would throw a head kick and go straight into shoot into a takedown. And, you know, Ruffy just didn't have an answer for it. There was times where he was able to reverse it. You know, I think once in the first round, he was able to reverse. And I think at the beginning of the second round, at some point, he's able to reverse. But that's the thing is, like, you know, Ruffy would reverse the position and get on top of St. Denis, but he really didn't do much with it. He would, both times, he just stood him up. I think maybe he should have tried to capitalize on it. But, dude, yeah, he on the striking, I think he landed some good knees and a couple good strikes. But, I mean, that fight was all Denis, baby. It was all St. Denis for sure. But yeah, in the second round, you know, at the beginning of the second round, the Ruffy tried to like open up more. I remember he did like a flying knee. It actually landed on St. Denis pretty hard. I guess not hard enough to knock him out. But St. Denis eats it and then lands a good body kick to Ruffy, bro. I remember it sounded hard as fuck, sounded like he wanted to fold him. But he lands a good body kick, and then at some point they clench up. St. Denis ends up getting a hip toss, lands on Ruffy's back, lands some ground and pound, and then he eventually slides in a rear naked. And it's on the chin, but he's pulling hard, and you know Ruffy just taps. He taps that in the second round. Winner is St. Denis, baby. Go St. Denis. Ruffy, I wanted to see him win. Me and Ruffy, we share similar first names. I will not be telling you my first name. I do not know you people like that. You are freaking strangers. You know me as Mo. You call me as Mo, dude. But my real government name, it's similar to Ruffy's first name, Mauricio. Not exactly, but it's similar, bro. And so, you know, I see my G up there. You landing some hook kicks. We got a similar name. I'm like, bro, let's go. You know, he took the L, but that's fine. St. Denis, though, we're a fan of St. Denis. Love to see more of him. Maybe he's got the answer for these Dagestanis. Let's see him go up against freaking some Dagestani. And yeah, let's see, dude. France versus freaking Russia. Let's go, dude. When was the last time France fought Russia? I don't know my freaking history like that. Someone in the comments tell me, and we'll have another war like that. JK. Yeah. So main event, bro. Main event. We had Imavov versus Borralho. Dude, I gotta get these. I gotta get these pronunciations. Like, honestly, I'm supposed to be a professional. I can't even freaking announce these fools' names though. Am I a professional, dude? I don't think I'm a professional. All right, let's hear it, YouTube. Educate me on how to say Caio, Borralho, Borralho, Caio Borralho, Caio B, Borralho, Caio Borralho. Yeah, dude, I'm not even gonna be able to remember to say that. Anyway, starting over. And our main event. This is a middleweight bout against Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho. Cannot pronounce that right. I know I didn't get that right, but anyways, Imavov, he's coming in with the 17-4 record. Borralho coming in with the 17-2. Had some more notes about Imavov. I want to pull up because damn, dude, what the heck's going on with my dude? Oh no, my notes are gone. So yeah, main event fight. We got Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho. Imavov, he's a French-born native. I mean, he hasn't fought in a little bit. I think he was supposed to fight at UFC 319. It was going to be on the undercard. He turned it down. He wanted to be a headliner. Here he is, Fight Night Paris. I think it was a good call for him. He got a good. I don't remember who was supposed to fight, but. This is a good fight, and he was riding a 4-fight win streak. That included a KO off of Israel Adesanya. I actually forgot about that till they started bringing that up. But yeah, he caught Israel Adesanya, bro. He got him, dude. He knocked him out. I believe it was with like some type of punch. I don't remember if it was like a hook or a cross or something, but I mean, this guy's got some gnarly hands, and I kind of forgot about this guy, Imavov. I remembered he was good, bro. He was on a crazy win streak, but I just haven't seen him much, and there's just so much going on. Caio Borralho, man, he's coming in at a 7-fight win streak. His last one of his top fight, or I guess one of his most notable wins was against Jared Cannonier. we had Imavov versus Borralho, man. Imavov, like I said, 17-4 record. Borralho 17-2, very close record. Borralho, he's like on they said that he was on a 17 fight win streak. I don't know if that's true though. I gotta look into that. I don't know if they meant MMA or I mean in the UFC or whatever, just in the UFC. Anyways, right when the fight started, bro, Imavov took to the center of the ring, bro. He just pushing Borralho back, man. This was like, okay, so there's two fighters that fought, right? So first was Ruffy, and then the next was Borralho, man. Ruffy was kind of seen more as a striker. I mean, he's got good grappling and stuff, but I expected him to win off of his striking. And in this fight with Borralho, it's kind of the opposite. I was expecting him to kind of take down Imavov, and I didn't think he could beat him in the striking, man. Imavov was just too good boxing, dude. I expected this fight to be different. I expected Borralho to be able to get him and take him down, right? Saying that, saying that, I saw no takedowns from Borralho. He attempted like two of them, but Imavov was able to just shake him off, dude. And Imavov's hands were gnarly, dude. This dude was throwing crispy combinations. Like, one thing that I did notice, too, that I want to note was the stance, right? And what am I doing? I haven't smoked a joint yet, dude. Maybe it's good that I haven't smoked because I'd be losing my train of thought more. But, you know what the F is up, right? Pause. Damn, cider's dead. The sign, boys. Imavov's hands, man, crispy. But one thing I noticed about Imavov was he does a lot of the long guard, right? He likes to keep that front hand out, right? Second hand glued to his face. Borralho, he's more of like keeps his hands low, dude. Like he likes to keep his hand close, right? He's kind of like almost shut up all the time, ready to kind of like block. I get it when you're here, it's easier to go here. But the problem with just constantly keeping your hands in is it's now allowing your opponent to get closer to you, right? It's like you have your space, right? Your space is like, this is the end of my punch. This is where you can't get past. I don't want you getting close to the end of my punch, right? I'm trying to keep you on that side, right? That's your circle. When you bring your hands in, the end of your punch is still the end of your punch, right? But now your opponent is able to push where the end of his punch is a little bit closer because he's able to get his hand closer to you, right? So one thing that I noticed was as Imavov was finding his range and keeping that hand out, he was getting a lot closer to Borralho than Borralho could get to him. And I think that was a mistake on Borralho, and I think that's something that they didn't catch on at all in the fight. I don't think his corner mentioned it. But Imavov, because Imavov is a better striker. He's faster and he's more precise, right? So he just needs to, and he's calm, right? He'll wait. He's just waiting until you get to where he can touch you, and then he's going to throw a 3 to 4 hitter, and a few of those are going to land. Maybe all of them might land. It's not going to be just one landing. It's going to be 2, 3, even the fourth might land, right? When you're just showed up right here, you're just inviting those long combinations. And I think Borralho, had he kind of started keeping his front hand out, right, and just not allowing Imavov's front hand to go past his front hand, just keep sliding out, keep pushing it away. I think that would have been doing a lot better for his defense than keeping his hands up here. I get it. You're both out here now and you feel more exposed because things are open. But as long as you keep his hand at your hand's distance and you keep using your footwork to step out, back, step to the side as he continues coming forward, I think that's a good defense. And then you start here. And once he passes that space, then you go here. This is your next your next checkpoint for safety, right? Here, it's just like jits, right? And I remember in jits, one of the things my coach used to tell me is like your first line of defense when someone's in your guard is your shins, right? They make it past, your shins, your feet. I mean, your feet. I'm sorry. Your first line of defense is like your feet. If they make it past your feet, then you got your shin, your knee. That's your second line of defense, right? It's the same thing with striking. You want to keep them on the outside. You want to utilize that long guard, and once they get past it, then you want to go to your shell. Your shell, your shields, right? Yeah, Borralho just was, wasn't really, he just was kind of keeping his hands nice and tight. And like I said, I feel like that allowed Imavov to get in close and land a lot more strikes than he should have been able to land, or than Borralho would have wanted him to land, right? But yeah, first round, Imavov takes to the center, pushes Borralho back. And honestly, Borralho just did not look comfortable at all. This is a 5-rounder too, by the way. So I was like, damn, he already doesn't look comfortable in the first round. Hopefully he can find his groove, But Borralho, he goes for a takedown, in the first round, and Imavov kind of puts him in a standing guillotine, and he kind of I think he just has him in there and just controlling him, and then he eventually just throws him off, right? That is a good cue on how these takedowns are going to go. And it shows you that Imavov has been practicing his takedown defense, and he's prepared for any type of grappling that Borralho can throw at him. But yeah, I mean, I'm for most of the first round, Imavov just basically pushes Borralho against the fence, and he's just landing some just punches. At some point, I think Borralho throws a knee at the end of the round, but whatever. It's not. That round pretty much goes to Imavov. But yeah, I mean, this fight, it seems like Imavov was a lot more comfortable, and his hands were a lot more faster and a lot more accurate, and he was patient. He would sit there and he'd wait for his opening. He wouldn't just be throwing strikes. A lot of the fight was just Borralho moving backwards, to the fence. Couldn't figure him out. In the third round, I think he started landing 1-2s, and that's another thing. What I would have been telling him if I was in his corner, if I was corner mode, baby, let's go. My advice, I would have told him to land more low kicks, bro. Honestly, when you have a guy that wants to punch, punches that heavy, and he punches that fast. He's a faster puncher than you. He's a more technical puncher than you. You want to try to slow that down, man. And kicks to the leg will slow that down, and kicks to the body and arm will slow that down. Left kicks to his body and his arm, switch it up and go a little higher to his arm, so he can't just go to the arm, to the body, so he can't just catch it. I wouldn't throw too many right kicks, just left kicks to the body, or right low kicks, left inside kicks, calf kicks. You need to slow him down. You want to use your long throws where you're a little bit safer, and try to chop his legs down as he puts his weight down, if he's trying to box more, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see a lot of that, and I did see him throw some low kicks, and some low kicks landed, especially in that last round. He was able to throw a lot more low kicks, and I don't know why he didn't. Maybe it's just the pressure he wasn't able to. He was kind of scared low kicking on the back foot. That does kind of get sketchy. I don't know. The other thing too is I would have probably switched up the striking. I think maybe if he would have tried to throw 1-2s and getting out, that might have benefited him, because Imavov, he was a sniper and he was quick, dude. As soon as he got into space, he would shoot off quick. If I was Borralho, get in there 1-2, dip out, then switch it up, maybe just throw a jab, dip out. Don't try to throw hooks, don't try to throw combinations. Fast, simple, and get out, dude. Move out the way before Imavov can counter, because Imavov's countering with 4 or 5 shots at a time. At some point in the second round, I remember Borralho, he throws a left body kick. Funny that I said that. And he throws a good left body kick, but then Imavov ends up doing a spinning backhand, catches him on the head, and it was a hard shot. I mean, he ate it well, but damn, that was hard. Oh, dude, yeah. And at the end of the second round, I remember Borralho, there's 2 seconds left in the round, and Borralho, he just turned around and walked towards his corner. He just looked like mentally he wasn't there, and he looked like he couldn't solve the riddle. The crowd was booing him, but yeah, he went into the third round not feeling confident, and I just think he didn't have any answers. Third round though, he looked a little bit more confident, or he looked like he was Borralho looked like he was more trying to get more comfortable and establish himself in the third round. I remember he threw a right knee and a quick combination. Yeah, I think I can't remember in the beginning, he kind of threw a right knee. I think for a boxer, you do want to, the knees to the body do help, if you're not as quick with the hands. The problem with Imavov is he's got fast hand speed, so it's like you're going for that knee, and you better have that face protected, or you better go from the knee into a clench, because Imavov, he ate that knee and then he just threw a combination back. So maybe only to throw the left. I mean, he is southpaw, so I think was he in southpaw? I think he is a southpaw fighter. Yeah, I mean, I would go to orthodox and then throwing that left knee off a switch, and trying to come closer. It's just you want to be mindful of the combinations coming, the hand combinations, the hand counters. That third round, it was mostly Imavov still. I think, like I said, Borralho, he just was having a hard time dealing with the speed, the power, and the precision. I think when you have a striker like that, like I said, you want to attack the legs to slow him down. Try to use your fastest and safest attacks, a good 1-2, dipping out, keeping your hands up, and changing your rhythm, man. That's one thing. I think Borralho, there was moments where he would land a jab because it would be a little bit offbeat to how he was doing it. I remember he would charge forward and he would throw some strikes, and Imavov would defend or slide out the way, maybe do a counter or two, and that would be the end of the exchange, right? But then there was there's a few times, I know it happened once in the third round, but there's a few times where Borralho would come in, throw his combinations, right? He would get countered, and before he would back off, he would throw a jab, just a random jab, and it would catch Imavov, because he was expecting Borralho to retreat now, because that's basically how the rhythm was going. It was like a clash, boom, boom, then a separation. And so changing that rhythm up and having the clash, the boom boom, and then another boom real quick before the separation. I think if he kept adding that would have kind of messed with Imavov's like ability to counter. You know what I mean? Throwing stuff just off rhythm. That's a hard thing to train, dude. Those are when you see people that can do that. That's very impressive. Those are your strikers that understand striking on a greater level than just the fundamentals. It's like they're looking like. Everyone's got a rhythm, dude. And that's why Thai music's got that music, right? Everyone's got a rhythm. So being able to trick your brain into coming up with a different rhythm in the moment too, while you're getting hit, it's a hard thing to do, but it's cool when you do it, and everyone should practice it. Yeah, fourth round, Imavov was just hunting, bro. Just staying in Borralho's face, landing good body shot. In the fourth round, that's when Borralho started landing like calf kicks, a little bit more calf kicks, and I feel like I said earlier, you should have gone for the low kicks. And I was saying that before I even saw the fight, That fight was pretty much all Imavov, dude. And all of my friends were like, a lot of my friends were saying Imavov was going to run through Borralho. I thought Borralho was going to do better, honestly. I mean, but yeah, after that fight with Adesanya, I was like, this fool's got some good ass hands. This is going to be a tough fight. But, Borralho, he was cool, and he showed up. He didn't get many takedowns. I think he attempted like a few foot sweeps and couldn't get them. He just couldn't get into his zone, man. I mean, Imavov is just that dude. He melts people, but he melts people with his hands, man. He's got like that Dagestanian style, but with boxing. You know what I mean? I don't know what to call that. But Imavov, I think he's French though. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. I'm just high. I'm just rambling. Yeah, Imavov, he's the champ now, or he's not the champ. I'm sorry, he gets the dub. We'll see who he fights next. Should he get a shot at the champ? I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think he should do it. Like, I mean, who else is he gonna fight? I mean, let me see. Let's see. We got the rankings for the middleweight. So, the UFC rankings. So, yeah, Imavov. I mean, he was the number 2. Duplessis is the number 1. Still interesting. And then you got, obviously Kazma, he just got the belt. Do we have Imavov fight Duplessis before Kazma? I don't think so. I don't think we need to see it. I mean, sure we can, but I mean, okay, dude, look, if Kazma needs some time off, I guess give Imavov Duplessis. I don't need to see it though, dude. I'm down to just see Imavov fight for the belt. I think that'd be interesting. Unpause battery on one of my cameras. So that's the second time that happened, bro. I gotta mark that battery, dude. I think that battery doesn't have as good health. Yeah, I think we should see it, bro. We should see the main event. I mean, we should see him fight I think he deserves to fight the champ, Imavov, Frenchman versus the where is he from? Chimaev. He's from Chechen, right? Chechnya. Let's see it. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. Maybe include some clips. I'm at it says 44 minutes now. I'm not sure how much I got to cut out, but I will leave it at that. Hold on, because I think I wrote some notes for the finisher. Also want to know, just did a podcast with the UFC veteran. You might know, you might not know, showing early signs of possibly some head trauma. And it's the second time I interviewed a UFC fighter that, showing that it wasn't as bad as the other guys, Nams and stuff. And I also want to throw out there, dude, people were like giving me hate with Nam. Look, dude, I didn't know Nam like that personally, right? I had heard stories about, his condition and how he's been. It wasn't until I met him that I realized I just didn't realize where I was at, and I was like, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to post it, right? I did ask Nam. I asked if he wanted to see the video before I posted it, and okay it. He didn't even want to look at it. He said it was cool, but I did ask for advice from other people, and they told me I should post it because it's important for people to see the possibility of being in the same position, to the dangers of fighting, whether it's Muay Thai or MMA, boxing. It's like, your brain is a sensitive thing that you should protect. But yeah, now I got this other guy that I interviewed. It wasn't as bad, but he definitely was having a harder time with his verbalizing his thoughts, but it was a great conversation. And I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna edit it and then I'm gonna send it to this guy. I'll ask if he's okay with it. If he's okay with it, then I'll get a third opinion from people who I think are in the fight world and know him personally. And if they tell me that I should do it, then I'll do it. If not, I'll be like, I don't need it. You know what I mean? But I guess that's a note for you guys, for you future fighters. Protect your brain, dude. We like the brawlers. I like the brawlers, but man, pick time and place, bro. You don't need to brawl in the gym every time, and you don't need to brawl for every fight. Try to practice being crispy clean. I think, and I get it, bro. We like to have the wars, but you know, it is what it is. So I think that's it, though. That's all I got to say. UFC Fight Night Paris, 4th time in a row in Paris. Is that right? I don't know if I mean what I just said. I'm kind of high. I've been smoking weed. Goodbye, everyone.